Oh,
Hello.
hi, Lindsay.
Thank you for allowing me to speak earlier, actually. My name is Lindsay Junkin, and I'm here to speak on the potential cuts and changes to the Wheel-Trans program. While I do not utilize these services, I am still in the position to know how vital they are to the physically disabled of Toronto. At 2, I was diagnosed with juvenile arthritis, and since then, my life has been marked by constant losses of my mobility, which is exactly the issue at hand. Mobility is not something most people think of during their day, with the performances of their bodies going uninterrupted. But for those who are directly affected by physical disabilities, diseases, and the associated complications, their ability to go about their daily tasks is rarely without acknowledgement to the uncertain nature of it. Individuals that need dialysis require life-sustaining treatment and will be denied a reliable, sustainable method to such measures. We cannot underplay the seriousness of their disease or its often dominating effects on the person who must cope with it. To cut them from those eligible to receive Wheel-Trans now to justify savings elsewhere opens up the possibilities of further arbitrary judgments on who is disabled enough to support and who isn't. Furthermore, the vagueness of ongoing potential additional changes made to the program emphasizes this point. Our social programs cannot regress to practices where people in need must attempt to adapt to the limited options or else fall to the wayside. While TTC cuts would leave everyone with more difficult commutes, documentation shows that with increases to fares and decreases in services, many commuters will offer different methods to get them where they're going. What options will the Torontonians with physical disabilities have if the services many of them rely on as an extension of their own mobility are changed and cuts made? To think that they can simply find alternative methods is blatantly ignoring the complex socioeconomic factors at hand. Our community should be protecting the equitable approach to quality of life, and I am grateful that the Toronto Youth Cabinet, another vital program, encouraged myself to speak up and give my personal answer to the formerly mentioned question. Funding cuts to programs that aid the marginalized in lieu of other initiatives, like cutting select taxes, only serve to underscore—
Thank you very much. Your 2 minutes are up. Councillor Carroll has a question for you.
Hi. So your involvement with Toronto Youth Cabinet, we know because we'll see it in the budget documents, there's really only one fairly low-paid staff member as an assist to that group. Does that group partner with other organizations? Do they realize other funds and not rely so much on the city?
Unfortunately, I can't fully answer that question. There's other youth cabinet members coming up, but I myself have just been brought in by one and given the chance to speak.
Okay, thank you very much.
Right.
Thank you for that.
Thank you, Councillor. Councillor Wong Tam.
Thank you very much. The question is regarding Wheel-Trans. Part of the city manager's report and KPMG recommendations is that we could potentially tailor more individual plans specifically for people with disabilities who will then be asked to use conventional services. Without Wheel-Trans, do you think that you can actually access conventional services?
Kat Ashton.
I think as much of our TTC is set up with actual structural difficulties, it's hard to tailor something that's already been made, subway stations. So I just don't understand how truly adaptive plans could be made for individuals that would save more money in the long run than Wheel-Trans.
So would you say that the recommendations are rather vague? We don't have the information.
Oh, they're completely vague. I tried reading that so many times and I just couldn't understand.
And so if we actually adopted these cuts and these recommendations to strip away Wheel-Trans without having all the information.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Sorry, that's a minute. Yeah, Councillor Davis.
So how did you learn that the recommendation to cut the staff people in the community services set of recommendations were the staff people that support the youth cabinet?
How did I learn? I mean, I have friends on the cabinet.
Okay.
And so we've just been discussing issues, and we're a very political group, and everything gets around. But I learned all just from talking with people I know who care.
So if there's no staff person to support the work of the youth cabinet,
I think it's not even an issue of having a staff person, it's an issue of them being there at all and having any funding.
yeah. Do you know as well that the other staff person, one of the other staff person that's being cut supports the seniors forum,
Yes,
another advisory committee? Do you support that?
Cutting them? No, I think cutting them both without actually giving them their dues and their name in the document is an issue.
Or telling those bodies at all that
Oh,
cuts are
thank
there?
you, sorry. Sorry.
Thank you.
Sorry. Okay, thank you very much. Sorry, Councillor Thompson, sorry. Oh, boy, I apologize. Sorry.
It's late. Thank you, Mayor. Through you, Mr. Mayor, to the Deputy. Thank you for being here. Do you know how many people are require, in fact, the use of wheel-trans for dialysis treatment?
I know it's in the thousands, but I don't recall the exact number.
Maybe 700?
700?
That's fine. That's not germane, I think, to the point that I'm wanting to make. I just wanted to ask you if you could perhaps just to help us to understand a little, if you know a little bit more in terms of those who are the recipient of the treatment in terms of dialysis, what challenges they would actually have to travel on the TTC, the regular transit?
It's a very exhaustive process.
Right.
I mean, you don't just go in for, like, you know, to take a pill. It's a lengthy time sitting in a hospital, and it's actually, to be asked to stand on the way home would be nearly impossible. I also go in for treatment similar, and just to get someone by a conventional method would be nearly impossible. I wouldn't be able to do it.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.